Last season we got Heliocentric, a sidearm made by and for Bungie's associate weapon design. It is a energy solar lightweight sidearm from the world loot pool that can now be obtained from all sectors when it rotates into the loot pool. If you want to check that, I would recommend looking at Today in Destiny, and there'll be a page dedicated to the Lost Sector calendar, which I'll put a link to in the description. Anyway, back to Heliocentric, it's the best sidearm in the game. Stat-wise, it's definitely nothing special, but don't let that fool you. It has 27 range, 46 stability, 65 handling, 51 reload, 71 aim assist, and 21 AE. Drang, for example, since it's the closest comparator, has 35 range, 60 stability, 71 handling, 30 reload, 70 aim assist, and 23 AE. Drang also has 13 zoom, so it effectively has rangefinder at base, as all sidearms tend to have about 12. And because it's a seasonal weapon, it is also craftable. Buzzard is the next comparator in the kinetic slot. It has 36 range, 67 stability, 51 handling, 30 reload, 89 aim assist, and 12 AE. Buzzard is also a nightfall weapon, which means there's an adept version of it, letting you use adept mods and also get +2 to each stat when masterworked. Buzzard and Drang, due to being different frames, also have a higher time to kill at base. Heliocentric, however, makes up for its lower stats in the perk department, being that it has the best perks in the game for a sidearm. The other two sidearms' perk pools are currently on screen. They basically suffer from having weapon feel perks instead of killing perks, which sidearms mainly need over weapon feel, as they don't really affect sidearms as much as other weapons, especially on PC. As to why, even though they are statistically better than Heliocentric, Drang and Buzzard fall behind a bit due to Heliocentric's better perks. Buzzard does so to a lesser extent, as you can get things like multi-kill clip, but that's about it in the killing perks department, as while Swashbuckler is useful, you need max stacks before it actually makes a time to kill difference. So, back to Heliocentric. In the third column there is heal clip, perpetual motion, enlightened action, rangefinder, demolition as the moving target. In the fourth column there is incandescent, kill clip, adrenaline junkie, surrounded, precision instrument, and frenzy. Like last video, we'll go over PvP first very quickly. I would say Drang is just a better option because it can get well spraying incandescent. However, Heliocentric has demo and kill clip alongside the other damage perks, which could allow you to do other builds in different ways that Drang doesn't allow, such as surrounded for the 40% damage boost, adrenaline junkie to synergize with your grenades, and frenzy, which would give you a bunch of reload speed. This is on top of the 10 mobility and extra fire rate you get from it being a lightweight sidearm. There's also it being easy to get, as you can grind out lost sectors a lot quicker than getting 5 Drangs and using all your harmonizers on it. In PvP there's a decent bit more to it. Third column wise, perpetual motion can make up the stability, handling, and reload that the other two sidearms have over Heliocentric. That does let you go purely into range. As with Hammerforged, a range masterwork and accurized rounds on top of perpetual motion, you'll have 57 range, 66 stability, 85 handling, and 71 reload. It's with a similar role on Drang, replacing Hammerforged for extended barrel for the recoil direction as it was made before the fixed recoil. You'd have 65 range, 60 stability, 61 handling, and 30 reload, making them a lot closer stat-wise. Enlightened action is another option as it takes 5 shots to kill optimally. You'll be able to max out the perk from a single kill, which gives you max reload and handling. Those stats, unfortunately, are the least significant on a sidearm though, as they already have good reload and handling just at base. Moving target is nice for the little bit of extra aim assist and ADS move speed, which is a bit more significant on a sidearm than a pulse obviously. However, again, it's not the most significant, but still a good option. Rangefinder is also nice as it'll grant you the extra aim assist, more aim assist fall off, and recoil control, which is again good. So if you want more aim assist, those two perks will be your options. However, I would not use it over kill clip, which will heal you when you reload after a kill. Which, considering you're basically going to be right in front of your enemy, is incredibly useful for sidearms. This on top of Devour's nerf, which you'd probably want to be using with a sidearm, is incredibly useful to have. Clip, however, comes with the one issue of giving you cure, which if you don't have shield, won't heal your shield, it'll only do health. Destiny health bars, if you didn't know, are split into health and shield, like Halo. When your health bar or HP bar is red, that'll be when your shield is broken. Resil also only affects shield, not health, so if your HP bar is red, it'll only heal the red bit, not the rest of it. Swash is a downside, however if you manage to use Devour that shouldn't be too much of a problem, as Devour will proc before you can proc Heal Clip, since it'll require a reload. Illusionist is also a niche option for PvP as well if you want more grenades, but I think the rest of the perks will end up serving you far better. So on to 4th column perks. Considering basically every main damage perk option is there, you can essentially do something with all of them. Incandescent will scorch anyone near enemies you kill, which could be used for a build, and you can use it with solar fragments to work off Scorch, but I wouldn't recommend it however. Same with Surrounded, Adrenaline Junkie, and Frenzy. Surrounded can give you the 40% damage boost in PvP, but if you have 3 people around you, it will only work for the first kill, and isn't really very useful at that point. Adrenaline Junkie is nice as it'll give you a sizable damage and handling boost, but it's kind of just beat out by other things. Frenzy also is nice, but you'll never be able to activate it in current PvP, and is again beat out by other things. However, this isn't to say they won't work in some way. I'm sure if you know what you're doing, you can manage to make them do all pretty decently. However, the main perk I would probably use in the 4th column would be Kill Clip, as you'll be able to full tap it or refill with 3 head and 1 body from tier 10 resilience to tier 2, and 2 head 2 body from tier 1 to tier 0. Being able to full tap will bring the times kill down to 0.5, which Drang only beats at times 4 and 5 swash. Buzzard also has swash, but also beats it at times 2 multi-kill clip, which is normally a lot harder to get and keep than just a kill and reloading. The last perk is Precision Instrument, which will do the same as Kill Clip, but the damage buff won't last as long and requires that you only hit crits. However, you wouldn't need to reload, so if you end up getting a bunch of people in front of you, you can basically just keep firing without having to worry about reloading to be able to get your damage perk to work. It mainly comes down to how your playstyle is. I personally don't think it's better than Kill Clip, but I know some people like it. So basically, you'd want to get Moving Target / Rangefinder / Heal Clip and Kill Clip / Precision Instruments on your Heliocentric. I would mainly go for Heal Clip and Kill Clip, and it's the main role you'll see in the background, as the synergy between both clip perks works quite well and tends to just destroy people. Now we're done with the perk section, on to how the weapon actually feels. On PC, I don't really know how much it's worth using. So with all sidearms, it's kind of just a bit hard to use. You're better off using even the worst SMGs over a sidearm a good chunk of the time on a keyboard. That isn't to say, however, they aren't viable. Just like you're better off using a controller, like you'll hopefully see in the background gameplay. I'm mostly just full autoing into anything in front of me instead of actually aiming and tracking the enemy, like what you do on controller. I'm also just mostly hitting body shots, and it's basically impossible to hit someone right in front of me. A lot of this can be solved by just using the gun a bit more, but an extra problem with this sidearms model is the suppressor on the end, which will block your vision when shooting and is largely what causes aiming problems. Buzzard are a lot easier to use on PC since they won't block your vision. Buzzard has a full-on sight which lowers the model, stopping it from blocking you, and Drang's model is small enough to where it just doesn't block you like you'll see on screen. Again, isn't to say it isn't usable, just a lot harder to use on PC. On controller, however, it is a lot better, due to how powerful aim assist is. Not being able to fully see your targets becomes a non-issue along with everything else mentioned. And even with me being a much worse controller player than I am a keyboard player, I can compete very well, and I'm very confident using the sidearm on controller. In what I'd say are lobbyists that are on the higher end of the kb&m curve. It's to the point where you can basically just let aim assist do the work and just focus on hitting headshots, which will obliterate people very fast. So I would say if you decide to use the sidearm, I would probably use it on controller, however it is still decent on keyboard and mouse, just a lot harder to use. Another thing I would use is Mechanist Drixley's, as even with the nerf to the damage buff, these stat buffs are more than worth it, as it will passively give you 50 AE, 100 handling and 100 reload, which is pretty much perfect for Hunter, as you'll be able to use your movement way more to get easier kills with it due to the essentially max AE you have. You can also pair it with Forerunner alongside Mechanist to get the buffs on both your weapons, or just use a sniper like I am in the background. I would also make sure to run a Devour build. Doing this is pretty simple, just put AWP gen mods like Heavy Handed or Firepower and Reaper on, with a Siphon mod that matches the element of your sidearm, run Void, and use Echo of Starvation. If you want to make it easier to get Devourer, I'd also run Echo of Domineering and Suppressor Grenades, as they'll make it so you can create Void Breaches, which will also proc Devour. So yeah, that's all I've got to say. Coil or Crow's vid next time, like, sub, comment, and adios.